So a lot of people think that just because they're the breadwinner, that they're going to win custody because I make the money, I can take them to Disneyland every weekend. Well, if you're making that much money, it's probably because you're not there because you're working. So you're not taking them to Disneyland every weekend. And so what is going to matter when it comes to custody are the Holley factors. That's Holley. And it comes from the Holley v. Adams case. The court has listed out factors, maybe like 10 factors or so, that the judges must consider when they're determining what is in the best interest of the child. The desires of the child is going to be the first factor. But the other ones basically boil down to how do we maintain stability and preserve the status quo for this child? So who's meeting the child's physical and emotional needs? Who's the one taking the children to the doctors? Who's the one meeting with the teachers, talking to the soccer coach? That person is meeting their emotional and physical needs. Additionally, there's going to be child support. So the person that is awarded custody is going to be also awarded child support in most cases. And so that's going to offset some of the difference in income between the two parties. And so it kind of levels the playing field a little bit. In Texas, there is a child support cap. And so they're basing child support on the net resources of the paying party. The obligor is what we'll call them. And the net resources are capped at an amount of $9,200 per month. And so let's say you have one child, it's going to be 20% of $9,200 a month, no matter how much money they make. And so $9,200 a month, that's about $110,000 a year. So someone that makes $110,000 a year that has one child in Texas is going to pay the same amount as someone who brings in $9 million a year. So it is capped at $9,200 a month. So the only way that child support is not going to be the guideline child support amount is if the court deviates for some reason. A court often will deviate if there's a child support offset, meaning let's say we have 50-50 custody. And so instead of me just giving you, child support going one way, I'm going to pretend because you all have the child equally that let's say dad's the one that makes the $9,200 a month or the $110,000 a year. So we're going to put him at max child support. And I'll just do an arbitrary number like $1,000, right? That's what he would be paying. And then mom, she doesn't make quite as much. And based on her income, her child support is going to be $700 a month. So instead of having dad pay, did I say $1,000 a month and mom pay $700 a month, we're not going to make money go both ways. We're just going to do the difference of the two. So $1,000 and $700, the difference is $300. So now dad's only going to be paying $300 a month to mom. That's a child support offset. A lot of people question whether or not the activities, extracurricular activities, or the private school and things like that are going to be maintained. Now, the fact of the matter is the Office of the Attorney General has a child support calculator, and that child support calculator establishes how much the obligor is going to be paying to the obligee for child support each month. They don't care about extracurricular activities and things like that. This is what the legislator has said is the appropriate amount of child support. So if you want your child to be involved in those activities, the court's typically not going to order the parties to split it. The one party's paying child support. Do with that child support as you wish. If you want to pay for club soccer with that child support, great. You can do that. If you want to play for the private school, you can do that as well. This doesn't mean that you're not free to negotiate something else. You all can agree that in lieu of child support, we're going to split the cost of private school. Or, yeah, you're going to pay child support. And, oh my gosh, that's really awesome. You're going to split private school with me too. I appreciate it. The kid will really enjoy that. But a court is often not going to award, in addition to child support, all of these other things on top of it. That's what child support is supposed to be used for. The courts are going to determine the best interest of the children based on the Holley factors from the Holley v. Adams case that the Texas Supreme Court decided. Those factors do not include someone's income. They really talk about the desires of the child and who's been meeting the emotional and physical needs of the child and things like that. If there was abuse or something like that, that's all going to come in under the best interest standard. But none of those standards talks about how much money does someone make. If you have any questions about high net worth divorce and child custody, feel free to contact us.